used to tell me, son, you better get your work done. Your daddy's coming home at 5. And if you ain't all through with the chores you gotta do, boy, I'm gonna tan you alive. I was glued to the radio listening to my hero, singing them sad old songs, singing them sadder than a one-car funeral. Nobody sings like Jones. I take that old kitchen broom up to my room and I play it like an old guitar, or sit out on the porch trying to sing like George, dreaming of becoming a star. Well, things I never did when I was just a kid made me what I am today. You see, Mama used to whoop me with a George Jones album. That's why I sang this way. So I ended up in Nashville working at a sawmill just to be close to the stars. I got a little broke, but I couldn't ask my folks, so I had to hawk my old guitar. I still hang around Tootsie's Orchid Lounge thinking he'll walk through that door. But a voice in my mind said, you're wasting your time, 'cause George don't drink no more. I used to take that old broom up to my room and I play it like an old guitar, or sit out on the porch trying to sing like George, dreaming of becoming a star. Well, things I never did when I was just a kid made me what I am today. You see, Mama used to whoop me with a George Jones album. That's why I sang this way. Well, things I never did when I was just a kid made me what I am today. You see, Mama used to whoop me with a George Jones album. That's why I sang this way. Mama used to whoop me with a George Jones album. That's why I sang this way.
I'm Scott Weichel. You're listening to My Kind of Country here on Fish Creek Radio. That is Daryle Singletary with one of my favorite songs, That's Why I Sing This Way. And he is still singing that way with a brand new album called Get Out of My Country. There's still a little country left. Here's Daryle Singletary. How you doing, Daryle?
I'm doing well, Scott. How you, buddy?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for being on the show today.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us. We've been fortunate to talk to a few people today that are really excited as we are about this new record that's coming out. That's actually out today. So we thank you for having us.
Well, it is my pleasure, and we have played some of the songs on there, and I got to tell you, I really like the newest song that you got out called "Get Out of My Country." Tell me about that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I wrote that song with a couple of buddies of mine, Clint Daniels and Roger Springer, and it kind of came about. We were having some conversations about the state of our industry and, how some of the folks are coming into town that may not have it in their heart like we used to, and we got to just voicing our opinions about it and just happened to put it down on paper and turned it into a song. And it just, it's not a malicious song, not trying to make any stabs at anybody. We just thought it was something that we wanted to say, and it talks about if you came to this town for the money, pack it up, son, get out of my country.
Well, you said it just right there, and there's still a little country left too, and that's another one that kind of describes a lot of what's going on in our world right now.
Yeah, it is, and I think there's two things with that song that I've kind of picked up on. The fact that there is still a little country left, and this song talks about anything and everything that's got to do with country, with from 4-H fair show and steers to girls riding in arenas singing the national anthem, guys removing their hats, sweet tea. I mean, you name it, it's talking about it, and that's kind of what we wanted to say. And not only the thing, people have the perception that if you're not current at mainstream radio that you're done, and there a lot of people. I was reading on some of the social media sites this morning, people saying, hey, people's griping about there not being any country anymore, but, we're here. We're here doing it, and that's the message we want to get out there. There's still a little country left.
Well, amen to that, and that's what we do on our show. People got to go to the right places. There's a lot of internet shows now, and there's a lot of satellite radio shows that are playing nothing but traditional country music, which is exactly what I'm doing. And it's out there, and in fact, I think it's coming back in a big way. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of new artists coming down the pike that are doing traditional country too.
Well, there is, and I mean, it's always been that way. They just hadn't had a voice to do it. I think there's a lot of guys out there that still love and do traditional country music. And like you say, you got to go. And there's one thing that has helped myself and other people is the social media. I mean, we can, I remember years ago when we would, intro our show with an announcement, no video recording, no audio recording of the show because of this law and that law. But I mean, shoot, man, we walk out there now and ask them to take their phones out and start videoing, because that's kind of at a guy at my level and a traditional country singer that's not going to be heard on mainstream radio. There's so many people that search the internet and that watch YouTube and all these social things that, they'll see a clip from a show last Friday night and they're like, well, I didn't know that guy was still out playing. And then the next thing you know, it snowballs into them going to my website and ordering new music or whatever it may be. And so that stuff's really helped out a lot. So it's pretty neat to have now.
Absolutely. Well, it's DarylSingletary.net is the website, and you can get that brand new album, There's Still a Little Country Left. And also, you're on Facebook, Twitter, and the album's available on iTunes and all the Amazon, and I'm sure it's going to be available at Ernest Tubb record stores and places like that, too.
Yes, sir, it will be. And this Saturday night we'll be on the Grand Ole Opry. And I think we're signing after the show in the Opry store. So we'll have some copies of it there. And, we're talking to some retailers just so somebody can go get a physical copy of it. But or if you order from my website, you will get a signed copy of it. So that's kind of a neat deal. So we're excited about it, and hopefully folks will enjoy it as much as we enjoy putting it together.
That's cool. It's a great album. I want to tell you a quick story. I used to work for a major market radio station, and I was going through some of the boxes. You get all these boxes of CDs that they get, and I was digging through there one day, and I come across this song, and I knew the title because I knew the original song, and it was a follow-up. It was called I Still Sing This Way by Daryle Singletary.
Yep.
So I...
we had a record out in '02 called That's Why I Sing This Way. And, we came out, and after we did that, I sat down with a couple of guys, David Lee and Chris Dubois, and I said, man, I want to write kind of a follow-up to the song, That's Why I Sing This Way. And so we kind of came up with the idea, I Still Sing This Way, and it talks about, all the things, the changes that managers and people in your career want you to do, and but no matter how much you change me, I'm still going to sing like I sang. You can put me in leather pants and in front of a rock and roll band, but I still sing this way.
Well, amen, and I applaud you for it. Well, there's a happy ending to that story, because I took that disc, and now as I do my own show for Fish Creek Radio, guess what? I play that song all the time, my friend.
Well, bless your heart. I appreciate it, too.
Well, you have a song on your new album with Johnny Paycheck. Tell me how that came about.
In 1992, Johnny Paycheck went in and cut about 10 or 11 tracks of his hits with his road band. And I had gotten wind that this was out there somewhere. It had never been released, never was mastered. They pretty much cut the tracks, and it went in a vault. A guy named Dan Mitchell had a hold of that, so we called him up and asked him, what would be the possibilities of us licensing Johnny's vocal for The Only Hell My Mama Ever Raised. And he was very very agreeable for that. So we went back and recut the tracks. We had to cut them at their tempo, obviously, to get Johnny's vocal on there, and it's a lot faster than the original version. Johnny's actually singing a lot of the lyrics different from the original version.
Right.
But it's a pretty neat deal. We went in and did a duet with him, and it's one of the bonus tracks on the record. So I'm excited about folks hearing that one.
Absolutely, that's really cool. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Johnny did his last performance on an album with you back when you did the "That's Why I Sing This Way" album. Is that right?
He did. He did the recitation on the end of Old Violin in 2002. In October of 2002, we went back and played him the final version in December of 2002, and he passed away in February of 2003. So that was the last recording that he ever did on record, and I'm flattered to no end that I've got the last recording that Paycheck did, not because of he was such a legend, I was such a fan.
Absolutely. That was a great album. You had so many great people singing with you on that. You know, George Jones was on it. Haggard was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a great... And I'll tell you what, your version of I Never Go Around Mirrors was just killer.
Well, bless your heart. I appreciate that. That's my most favorite country song ever written. I think the epitome of a well-written traditional country music song is that one, I Never Go Around Mirrors. I say that, and I make we do it in our shows, our live shows, and I always set it up. If I could introduce anybody that's not familiar with traditional country music and what it's all about, I play them. I Never Go Around Mirrors.
Well, that's a great one. And, of course, one of your ones that I love is Ain't It the Truth? And, of course, Too Much Fun and I Let Her Lie. And one of the most requested songs I get on the show for you is The Note.
Yep, that's I think back over my career, and I've had, I Let Her Lie was the #1 record. Too Much Fun was in top 5 for a few weeks. Amen Kind of Love was in the top 5 for 3 or 4 weeks. But my biggest selling single record was The Note, and it only went to in the mid-20s on the charts. But it's been our biggest single selling record of my career, and it's a strong record, man. And I was pleased. It was recorded by quite a few artists before I got a hold of it, but for some reason, we just caught the magic in it, and thanks to Doug Johnson for letting me do that thing. It's been a good record for us. Yeah,
I think yours was the definitive version of that. I've heard it by Gene Watson. I've heard it by Conway Twitty, several other ones. But I'll tell you what, your version is the best.
God bless your heart. Thank you.
And you've got Vince Gill singing with you on a track on your new album as well.
Yes, someone asked me if there was one song that moved me and that I could not go without recording. It's probably this one, the song called Say Hello to Heaven. And now after my wife and I have got 4 wonderful children, we got twin boys that are 4 and a 2-year-old little girl and a 10-month-old little girl, and when I heard that song, I'm like, man, not that I can personally relate, but I know how I would feel if I was to lose the mama of my children and to lose my wife, and man, when I first heard it, I just boo-hooed, and as we recorded it and got everything finished, I said, man, this thing would really pop if we could get Vince to come in and sing on it, and he was so nice to do so. And Vince is one of those guys that when he opens his mouth, you don't have to guess who's singing. I mean, he's just so definitive, and it was a pleasure to have him on the record.
I miss that about country music, or what they call country music today. You can't tell who you're listening to half the time. And it used to be in the old days.
Sounds alike.
Yeah, it used to be the old days, man. You didn't even have to hear him sing before you knew who it was,
Exactly, and, I agree.
George Jones, man, I'll tell you, you can't mistake the possum.
No, ain't no doubt about that.
That's for sure. Well, this is such a great album, and I'm so very happy to play it on our show. Folks, it's called There's Still a Little Country Left, and it's brand new. You can get it at DarylSingletary.net and on iTunes, Amazon, and just about anywhere albums are sold. And as Daryl said, if you go to his website and order one, he'll sign it for you, too.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Daryl, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and love to have you back on anytime. You are an artist that gets a lot of airplay on my show, and that will continue because I respect your traditional country music.
Well, Scott, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having us, and thanks for sticking to your guns and playing traditional country music. We appreciate that.
You got it. Daryle Singletary on My Kind of Country. Daryle, we're going to play a song off your new album, and I'm going to let you pick the one we play.
You know what, buddy? I think we ought to just do one that we haven't actually talked about, but I'd like the folks to hear a little thing called Too Late to Save the World.
Oh, that's a great song. Tell me a little bit about that one.
Actually, I got this song, kind of along the same lines as Get Out of My Country. The guys that wrote this song, 4 songwriters, Casey Beathard, Kevin Denny, Philip White, and Jimmy Ritchie, were coming from a writers retreat down in Florida, and they got talking about the whole thing of what's going on in the industry and what's going on in our country, and they I guess one of them made the comment, it's maybe too late to save the world, but I think we can still save country music. And when you do that, when you pull a title off like that and you got songwriters in the room, somebody's going to go write it. So they figured they'd write it together. And when they got home, Jimmy Ritchie called me and said, man, I got a song I'd like for you to demo for me. So I demoed it, and just so happened that it was still available when we did this record, and I was happy to get my hands on it because it's stronger than new rope.
It's a great song. Well, we're going to play that right now, Too Late to Save the World. Daryle Singletary, I sure am glad your mama whooped you with a George Jones album and that you still sing this way.
God bless your heart. I appreciate it, Scott. And have yourself a good one, buddy.
Thank you. Daryle Singletary of My Kind of Country, his brand new album, There's Still a Little Country Left, DarylSingletary.net. Here is a song from that album, Too Late to Save the World, as My Kind of Country continues right here on Fish Creek Radio.
Washington's just going through the motions. The Middle East is going up in smoke. California's falling in the ocean. The working man in Wall Street's going broke. The Pirates ain't just Pittsburgh playing baseball. They're out there wreaking havoc on the seas. Lord, I think my give-a-damn's gone AWOL. But then again, I think even you'd agree, might be too late to save the world. It may be already gone. So I'd say we shift our attention to a good old 3-chord song. Now maybe I'm just talking crazy. I think together we can do this. It may be too late for the world, but can't we still save country music? How about getting back to stuff that really matters? Like drowning in some pedal steel guitar. The more I look around, the more I gather just how bad a shape we really are. I mean, who's singing to the folks down at the factory? All the broken hearts in bars on stools. It's hard to tell just what went wrong exactly. Lord, there must be something we can do. Might be too late to save the world. It may be already gone. What say we shift our attention to a good old three-chord song? Now maybe I'm just talking crazy. I think together we can do this. It may be too late for the world, but can't we still save country music? Maybe too late for the world, but we can still save country music.